As technologies such as AI and online financial services continue to evolve, so does the sophistication of the criminals looking to scam and defraud you out of your money. New scam attempts to gain your passwords or account access include voice cloning and contextually relevant messaging. The good news is that a study by the Better Business Bureau and Stanford University's Center on Longevity report that people who knew of the specific scam that were targeted were 80% less likely to engage with it. And in the spirit of that, joining us now with some expert advice to keep your money safe is Lawrence Sprung. He's the founder of Mitlin Financial and author of Financial Planning Made Personal. Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us on this very important topic. What is the state and the scope of financial fraud today?
It is huge, Carrie, and it doesn't mitigate who it's affecting. It's affecting everybody. According to the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, Americans lost over $10 billion to scams in 2023, and that was a 14% increase from 2022. And the reality is they're no longer just targeting seniors, which was something we heard about. It's really affecting every age group, and it's popping up everywhere. It's not just email, it's text messages now, it's through social media, and it's everything from IRS warnings to job offers to investment opportunities. And you have to be very careful. And if you have that little inkling that it's not right, do not do it. Check with, whomever before you ever do anything like that and reply back to something like that.
Yeah, with all these channels like social media, as you mentioned, people maybe thinking they're sharing something on Twitter, and then all of a sudden that little hook is used in the text message and they get you. Now, AI has made creative production available to normal folks, and they can research, they can design, they can write better, faster, cheaper than ever before. But what new tricks has it given to the fraudsters, Lawrence?
Yeah, so I'll share a personal story. I was sitting on an airplane with my wife, and we get a frantic phone call from my mother-in-law that her grandson, my son, my youngest, had just called her and said he was in a car accident, and they were requesting $5,000 or something like that. Thankfully, she hung up the phone, immediately called us, and we had known our son was on a plane from Minnesota to another location at that moment, so we knew there was no way he could have called her or would have been with somebody. So these are the type of sophisticated scams that are now taking place, and they sound just like the person that you think they are. It sounded like my son, her grandson. So it's very sophisticated. What we suggest in this instance, and my family has it now as a result as well, create a code word, a word that only you and your family members know. So if you are encountered with something like this, you immediately say, listen, can you give me our family code word? If they can't do it, it's a scam. If they can, then, you probably are going to be reporting or calling the police, and hopefully that's not the case.
Fantastic. May I suggest NTD Good Morning as your code word? Now let's talk about payment apps like Venmo, Zelle, PayPal. Life is much easier for friends who buy concert tickets or, they want to settle up after, an evening out. But what doors has that opened up to the fraudsters?
Yeah, I mean, so fraudsters, you'll find, can ask for money through fake profiles or accidental transactions they say need to be reversed. And the reality is, once money's sent on these platforms, it's usually not refundable. It's very difficult to fight that battle. And in other cases, scammers will pose as a bank fraud department and convince people to send money to secure accounts that don't exist. And the thing is, these scams move very quickly, and platforms don't have the same protections as credit cards. So, just again, buyer beware. If it's a bank fraud department, say, hey, listen, I'm going to hang up with you. I'm going to call the bank directly and confirm this. And if it's true, then you'll know it's true. But, if you don't know where that's originating from, it probably is a scam.
Yeah, I know. I get those emails all the time. The name says it's one thing, but then when you hover over and really dig in, it's something completely different, oftentimes with a domain from another foreign country. Now, you've established what a lot of the tricks are that the fraudsters are using. So what additional things besides like a family password could folks be using to avoid taking the bait?
So there are simple tools that can make a difference. I don't know that you can avoid this altogether, but you want to try to do your best. Two-factor authentication, is really helpful, especially for email, banking, shopping accounts. That could block many scam attempts. Password managers really help create, strong, unique passwords that aren't used across platforms. Because, listen, the password or family or your name is not really sufficient. You really want to have a significant password that people can't find. Reviewing your bank activity weekly is a way to catch fraud. And you have to have conversations about these things so family members understand what scams are out there so they can be hopefully avoided.
And Lawrence, as we finish up, what should you do if you did take the bait and now you've maybe compromised a password, or maybe you did submit a payment and you realized, hey, I think I got scammed?
Act quickly, right? If you think that it was a scam, act quickly. In many cases, unfortunately, it can't be recovered. I mean, I'll share another story. We had a family we worked with that owned Bitcoin in their own wallet. And they got a phishing email, click the link, and it was about $150,000 worth of Bitcoin, and it evaporated in moments. They stole it right out of his wallet, and there's no way to recover that. So some of these things can be recovered, some can't. Call your bank or credit card provider to stop any payments, request reversals if possible. And you can always place a fraud alert or freeze your credit with the three major credit bureaus. That's also helpful to, deter scammers also sometimes.
Well, it couldn't be more timely. And as the report said, 80% of people, when they are aware of the scam, they don't take the bait. So thank you for informing our audience. Always appreciate it. Lawrence Sprung with Mitlin Financial.
Thanks, Kerry.
Good to see you.